I hope you guys are doing pretty good. I was actually trying to make sure my Facebook was loading. Make sure it's on. Actually, let me say that much. I hope you guys are doing well. To my one person that's on here. Oh, there we go. Hope you guys are doing well. I got it working. I couldn't tell if it was or not. What's up, good people? Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. We're rolling now. Man, I hope you guys are doing pretty good. It's another amazing Tuesday, and I'm glad to be in the number one more time. I'm not sure if you guys can have a moment or if you guys have a second, but I want to drop something to you. It won't take long, maybe like 5 or so minutes. So I get a lot of questions. If you guys don't know me or do know me, well, first off, if you don't mind, if you're watching this, go ahead and hit the share button. I promise you I got something for you entrepreneurs who just want to be entrepreneurs, or those who are saying, you know what, I feel like I have something on the inside of me that I can make some extra money with to provide for my future, to provide for my new home, my new car, to pay off some debts. I promise you there's probably something on the inside of you that you're able to sell outside of what you do for your occupation. For an example, I know a lot of people who are extremely organized. Like, they are organized to the point where I think I'm kind of anal because I live my life with my planner, but I know some people who are 10 times worse than me. And I'm like, how? There is no way. But one thing that I do know is that when you're in that place or space where you're trying to create something different for yourself and build something different for yourself, you got to be okay with using the tools and using what you already have and what you already do well to benefit you. One of the things I tell people all the time, if you have the grace and the patience to be organized and to help somebody build something and to stay organized, there's absolutely no reason that you can't make an extra $300 or $400 a month just helping somebody else be organized. I think I know firsthand one of the most profitable businesses that launched last year and that will continue probably to launch for the next 2 years, maybe 3 if I'm not mistaken, will be administrative assistants, or most importantly, virtual assistants. You guys probably would never realize, but what somebody pays a virtual assistant, I know some individuals that are virtual assistants for their career. That's what they do for a living. They sit at home and they organize the lives, the calendars, the businesses of a lot of different people. And they're making like $200 or $300, $200, $300, $400, $500. I know one lady charges like $1,000 a month, but she's been doing it for a while. So she's like gotten to a point where she's extremely profitable. But let me tell you something. I entitled this video, what did I make this video title? It was about money. Because one thing I know for sure is that you can never have too much. And a lot of us are in spaces and in places where we're really looking for, like, we're searching for the next way or how we are going to make some more money. And let me tell you something. I've been able to kind of figure out a formula to make money online. Most people, think that sometimes we grew up in society or in life where they told us that we had to make money like the hard way. Go to school, get a job, get a degree, go get another degree, find a good 9-to-5, and then boom, that's the key to a happy and a successful life. But man, I'm telling you guys, there are people out here who are doing trades, operating off trades, using their entrepreneurial skills, using things that they've learned over the years to make a whole lot of money, and they're able to do it, and they're extremely comfortable while doing it. Like, the issue that a lot of us have is that we think that if we lived the life or did what we could do or what we wanted to do, that we're forced to be uncomfortable. That's not the case. That is not the case. I tell you guys this, by the grace of God only, I left my job almost a year ago to the day. And I can tell you, and I really hope my mom is not going to watch this because she's going to ask me about it, or she's going to try to dibble dab in my finances. But I made more money in the last year than probably what I made in the last 2 years. You know how I did it? By building an online business. I make money online. Most people don't realize there's an entire market still that is not oversaturated, that is not compromised, that is not outside of your reach for you to be able to make a little money online. So I'm gonna give you a couple free tips on how to make money online. And this is the thing about it. You do not have to be one of the Instagram famous individuals or somebody with a super, super, super large following. You've got about 4 easy steps that'll help you, of course, build that influence, build that model, and build that following. But these 4 steps will easily help you to start making a little bit more money online. Are you ready? You got your pen and paper? It's going to be real quick. I'm going to hit this real quick and then get out the way. The first thing, if you want to make money online, you've got to know your niche. Most people have the ability and the resources and the talent and the skill to make money online. Like, I know that probably sounds ridiculous, but I'm telling you, you probably not 80% of you have the ability to make money online, but you just don't know who you would make money from. Like, making money isn't the hard part, but knowing where your money is going to come from is where it can get a little tricky, because you know why? That forces you to have to focus in and lock in and push into one type of target audience, or one type of person, or two types of persons, or a group of people. Like, and there's no other way to say it, but it's like, you aren't going to make a lot of money, or you're not going to grow your business or grow your endeavor, sell your book, expand your reach, unless you know what your target audience is. I do business coaching every day. And if the most consistent issue that I run into with clients and new clients and future clients is that they aren't marketing to the right people. You know why? It's because they're still marketing to everyone. They think a general post is going to do it. They think like one Facebook post or one Instagram post is going to sell out their online classes, or going to get people into their stores to buy their merchandise, or get people to their websites to download their books. No, you've got to pick an audience, pick a target, and stay at your target. I tell you this. I'm glad that she just got on. One of my friends, one of my compadres, I think Akila's like the best person in the world. She has a branding company. And most recently, she realized, or kind of had the awareness or the revelation that she blows female brands out of the water. Like, Akila can take a female brand from idea or from terrible to absolutely amazing. And you know what she did? She realized what her target audience was. She realized what her niche was. Akila was able to say, you know what? I do graphics well. I do websites well. But realistically, she does women well. She's able to hear their heart, capture their vision. You know what that does? That gives her a target and a focus group. Akila's focus group, even though she could do things for everyone, if you ask her, she can do it. But her focus is women. And you know what that means? That keeps her in that keeps her in a easy cycle, easy rotation of who to market to. So you know what happens when you're marketing towards women, and when you want women to grab to your things, you do things like use the color pink. The average woman loves at least one shade of pink. Now, she may not be a hot pink girl, but she may be a soft pink girl. I'm telling you, you've got to find who your niche is. You got to find your one. The next thing, people have to see you in action. I know it's one of the hardest things to do, and I don't struggle with it anymore, but I used to struggle with it pretty bad. Like, how am I going to make more money? How am I going to make money online in a world where it looks like everybody's doing something? If I'm honest, it seems like everybody's a coach right about now. And I'm like, how are all these people doing coaching? Like, I got my certifications, I got my degree, and everybody seems to be doing this. But I realized it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. It matters about who your niche is, who your target is, because this is the thing about it. I know my target. How I just mentioned, Akila's target she's a female base, that she's able to create female brands like from scratch, or reroute them or redirect them and make them amazing. I know what my niche is. Let me tell you what my niche is. My niche is believers. You know why? Believers of Christ, if you don't know. You know why? It's because as a pastoral component, I've realized that my ability to help people is uncanny, and it's simply just a gift from God. And I said, okay, God, Akila, I was talking about you, and my goal was who do I get to? Who do I help? When I realized that I'm not called to everybody in the world, it made it easy for me to focus in on who I'm called to. Like, I'll tell you this. So as doing business and branding and marketing, I could do that. I could do that to everyone possible, because building a business and building a brand is actually a little bit more simple than what anybody could ever imagine. It's not hard to build a reputable brand in a business. But what I realized that I was called, hey, Kanaya, I realized I was called to people who go to church. You know, when I realized that, and why I'm okay with that, is because I also was able to see the need. People who go to church, who have ideas, businesses, not-for-profits, books, they really just don't know how to do things well. And it's okay. It is absolutely okay to realize that you're called to a people who don't do it well. I'll even tell you guys this tip. I keep my prices low, because how I'm making money online, I keep my prices low because I realize that my demographic that I'm called to help right now is probably in a place or in a space where they can't really afford to make too large of investments right now. And I know a typical person would be like, you know what, no, charge your worth, set your standard, be at that place, stay there, and then that's it. But I'm like, what I could do is charge 15 people a set price of like $400 for the same service instead of hoping and praying that I can draw in right now a couple high-level clients. And I'm saying that I'm not combating that business practice and that business model because it is very true, but it all goes down to who you're called to and who you're directed for. I know who I'm called to work with right now. So my goal is not to break the bank. My goal is to be consistently pushing out results, which brings me to, let me answer one of these questions. Do you think we know our target audience right off the bat, or do we realize it after we start? Most people don't. That's a great question, Akila. Most individuals, especially in the startup stage, you won't realize who your target audience is probably until month 3, because it takes about 3 months to get going. We're so used to seeing immediate results. And so when we don't see immediate results, we automatically think that something's not right. No. A lot of times you won't see immediate results because you're just not prepared for immediate results. But you know your target audience, unless you have Akila's branding workbook, or if you had a branding session with me or her, you might know who your target audience is off back. But it's a question that you must know, because I tell you everybody this, you're not called to everybody. The first point of this video was find your group, find your niche. When you find your group and find your niche, you know exactly what lane to stay in. I can tell you this transparently. I remember, and I'm still making sure that I'm asking questions all the time. I remember the days when my brand was everywhere, where I am Evan Brown, Vision Birthers, I was Pastor Ev, I was Ev the Healer, I was, the Prayer General. I had like 15 different notions and logics and perspectives and outlooks on who I was and what I was doing. That right there kept me busy, but it kept me doing a whole lot of stuff that I really did not care to do. And what I had to do to end last year, or in my fourth quarter of last year, I had to sit down. I booked a branding session with the branding expert, and I sat down and I said, who am I doing this for? I had forgotten my why. I had gotten away from who I was called to help, who I was called to assist. You know what that did? Answering that one question, Ed the model, answering that one question made me cut probably 75% of my services. My business went from trying to do everything to focusing on just 3 things. I have 3 things that I focus on: the personal and business coaching, and then the branding and marketing aspect of it, and then writing and publishing, because I like to write and I like to see people publish books. So what do? Those are the only 3 things that I offer. That's it. I went from probably 17 services on my website to 10 to 2, then back to 5, because I realized I needed to have tiers or options for people who were at different places or points in life. But that's how I'm making money online. I found my niche. I stuck to my niche, and I'm sticking with my niche all the way across the board. All the way across the board. All the way across the board. Plug your people in. How do you pinpoint exactly what your audience wants to know once you know who your audience is? This is what you do. It's a great question, Kimberly. She asked this question. Oh, you can read on the screen. How do you pinpoint exactly what your audience wants to know once you know who your audience is? You are 9 times out of 10, once you realize or solidify your target audience, what you do is you're creating content or creating what you do based upon what you needed when you were in that particular place. The great thing about building businesses, endeavors, you are not creating for a group of people or for an individual that you don't know well, because naturally you're building for the individual that you used to be. That's free. Keep that in mind. You're not building for a group of people that you are unaware of. You're not burdened and called to a group of people that you are new to. You are called and situated and pushed and feel the burden to build for them, because you're building for the person who you used to be. So what happens in that moment when you're building for the person that you used to be? You simply just remove yourself. You go back and you say, you know what did I need when I was there? What did I need when I was in this position? What did I need when I was in this space or place? What did I need then? And what you do then, you start to service your old self. Hear me, you start to service your old self. One thing that I can tell you guys this, I'm able to help a whole lot of people right now because I'm able to service my old self. I was able to take a moment once I figured out my niche, decided I'm going to stick to my niche, and sat down and focused in. I said to myself, what did I need when I was there? What was I missing when I was in that place or in that space? So I promise you this, you will never go broke if you focus in and create and find and fix, pretty much create a solution to somebody's answer. Create a solution to somebody's problem. Like, that's how you can generate online money, making money online, is creating an answer to a problem that somebody has. Because this is the thing about it. If you keep in mind, what did I need when I was in this place? Or what do I need now to go to the next level? Now you're starting to think and brainstorm at a whole different level than what you are. It's a lot easier to build something and to think through something when your own thoughts are not in the way. Most successful businesses aren't thriving, or most businesses that are starting up, I think that the startup business can thrive in the first year. Statistics will tell you it takes about 3 or 4 years to build a thriving business. That depends on what your definition of thriving actually is. But I wholeheartedly believe that if we answer the question and create a solution to a question someone had from the jump, it would expedite the process for us to be able to build wealth and for us to expand and to grow and to grow fast and at an exponential rate. Like, growth is intentional. You don't just grow on accident. Expansion is extremely intentional. It doesn't happen on accident. Like, it doesn't. Not when you're building a business. Now, when you're talking about being a social media icon or an influencer, now that stuff can happen overnight. You could drop a song, end up on the wrong type of video, and then boom, now your following has grown from 300 people to 10,000 overnight. And that does happen. But it's like for those who are building businesses or not-for-profits or, just kind of another lane of life outside of what they do, you've got to sit, capitalize, think through, but it's easier to create when your mindset is not in there. So those first 3 points was find your niche, know who your group is. The next thing, people have to see you in action. This is the hard part. Making money online is easy when people see that you do what it is you say that you do. I know it sounds it's something that I as a business owner, I had to get to that point, because I'll tell you guys this. I have been planning, organizing, and structuring businesses and different things for people for at least 5 years. But I didn't start pushing myself and pushing what I do because it always has been coaching. But I just now started to be okay with settling and sitting in the fact that I am Coach Ed, and what I do is I coach businesses. But I coach businesses and I coach individuals who are launching new endeavors. So my big push and my big thing is I'm not just building brands and businesses, I'm building people. But it took me some time to kind of sit into that. We got another question. Do you think we should create benchmarks when it comes to making money online and develop our content from there? Like, I'm going to make $900 in 3 months. I think that is a great thing, a great question to ask, Akila. Should you make a benchmark? Absolutely. You should do nothing without a structure. You should do nothing without having goals in mind. And as I mentioned earlier, that growth and expansion are very intentional things. And so if you're going to be intentional about growing and expanding, you got to have goals in front of you so that you know what you're working towards. Because what you can do, like for the example that she asked, if she wants to make $900 in 3 months, what she's able to do is break that down month by month. Okay, I need to make $300 in 1 month, $300 the next month, and $300 the month after that. So what do I need to do? How do I need to restructure or resituate things so that I'm able to clear my goal and exceed my goal, hopefully? So what does that look like? Also, when you do things like that, you're able to forecast times of the year. Like, for example, I tell my business clients all the time, you probably shouldn't set extreme monetary goals in the month of November and December unless you have a product like makeup, or you have a product that maybe is a first top of the year type of thing, where there's maybe workout equipment or different things like that. You always try to be intentional about knowing what's going on in the seasons. Like right now, I'll tell you guys, if you have an online business that does anything, this is a prime time to set yourself as a subject matter expert and consistent voice for information, because you know why? People are about to get their income tax refunds. And what happens when individuals get their income tax refunds? They have a little bit more money to invest in themselves. So that means for a business owner, if you have something like, I'll use myself for an example, we do websites. Okay, so what does that look like? Income tax time, people have been working hard on launching things in the beginning of the year or kind of structure things. What do? You run a website special. You know what happens with that? You're able to get a whole lot more traffic. Set a limit, set a goal, but you're able to let that thing kind of jump on in. And what happens is you are able to pull from an audience or from a target of people who are prepared. Income tax season, people have money. So what do the people do when they have money? They spend it. Don't let them take your tax money, sis. Invest in exactly. Instead of buying somebody some J's with your tax money, put that into yourself. This is the thing about it. But when business owners, when you're wise and you're able to discern the seasons and the times, I'm not going to tell you where I got that from. But knowing the seasons and the times is important because it's how you can even forecast how much money you can make, especially when you know what's going on around you. And the next thing, testimonies and results. I told you guys this. People will trust you. They like to see you in action. For an example, I would never be able to convince half of you all that I do business coaching if you guys never saw me doing it. Majority of you guys probably have never seen me do it. Why? That means A, I'm not doing a good job at consistent presentation of what I'm doing. B, I might not be showing up at the top of your timeline, so that means I need to be more engaged and more involved on Facebook. C, I might not be conveying my content well enough for you to capture the fact that I'm no longer Pastor Ev. I'm no longer Ev the model. I'm no longer, what else can I think of that I've been? I'm not situating myself in your mind to be Coach Ev. One of the great but tough things about rebranding is that when you're in a new audience, it's probably going to take you about 3 to 6 months of intentional and consistent marketing for you to rebrand yourself to a bunch of people that have known you to be something else. And how I'm able to gauge that it's working for me is because those that work with me and clients that I've had for years are starting to change their verbiage towards me. I have even people on my team that now refer to me as Coach Ev. That's not something that was ever done. I had one guy on my team that just called me Pastor Ev or Pastor Evan for 2 years now. And I'm like, stop calling me that. But what it does, it shows me that it has not been etched far enough into the minds of those that I come into contact with if I have not realized, if he hasn't gotten it. Like, and this is somebody that works alongside of me, that works along with my business, I talk to frequently. And if it has not been etched in his mind that I am now Coach Ev, what I told myself is that if he don't know, y'all definitely don't know. And that means that I need to be more intentional about showcasing myself and showcasing that side of me so that I'm able to generate more traffic and make more money online. And the last thing of how to make money online is you do all those things at the same time for a very long time. Like I tell you, the average person is not going to blow up. I'm going to do a video tomorrow about how to blow up in 2020 because it's possible. How to blow up, a successful blow up without a sex tape. You know, if you're looking for a quick way to come up, take the sex tape route, but I don't encourage that. But what I can say is that it takes, I think I mentioned it just now, it takes 3 to 6 months to just really start to change the perspective and the mindset of those who have followed you. It's because what's going on right now is that as we grow and develop, and we have changed, we have transformed. A lot of our followers and followers list or friends list are people that we went to high school with, people that we went to college with. So these are individuals that you haven't probably seen in the last 5 to 7 years, and you've evolved and changed so much in that time frame that even outside of your life changing, your goals have changed. So what I've had to do is be intentional. I keep saying this. I'm intentional right now about being. I'm about to start making twerk videos. You have to be intentional and long-term committed to reintroducing yourself on everything in every possible way. Money is out there to be made, but it takes you coupling those 4 things I just gave you to be able to make money online. Because this is the thing, the money is out there, the surplus is out there, but you have to show people that you are worth the investment, and then lastly that you're able to do what needs to be done. You're able to help them. You're able to help them. I'm getting ready, and I'll tell you guys, I'm getting ready to launch this thing called the Vision Institute because I realized that what I'm doing, what I've learned, what I'm still getting a lot of training for, I didn't per se go to school for. So I got $50,000 to $60,000 in debt for something I'm not going to use. And my thought process is, as I mentioned earlier, how am I going to help somebody else? So what do? Couple all the stuff that I know and put it in 12 to 15 master classes and allow someone to get that information, that logic, that knowing without having to spend $45,000 a year in it. Like that's really, and you know what happens, because I told you guys earlier, I am creating a solution to an answer. I've got courses on how to start a nonprofit, how to write a book, how to launch an online business. I've got a bunch of courses that are rolling out. The first one is actually next week, shameless plug, for visionaries only, because I realized there's a need to help people understand the fact that you're a visionary and it's not going to be easy. Nobody teaches us how to be a visionary. We teach you how to be a supporting cast member. We teach you how to be, we can teach you everything else, but nobody teaches you how to be a visionary. Some of the hardest lessons I've had to learn was when I had to realize that my seat changed. Where next week? Hey man, my class is actually going to be online. You can go to my website, IamEvanBrown.com, to register. And actually, the registration is $20 a day, just because I felt like blessing somebody. I'll make sure somebody posts a link in there. But I was saying, I realized nobody taught us how to be a visionary. So we have people who have big visions, big dreams, and nobody's teaching them how to process this stuff, how to fund this stuff. Because I'll tell you all this, people are going broke think that people are going broke to start businesses, but when you don't have to do that. You don't even have to use your own money to start a business. You don't have to use your own money to start a business. Like, besides paying for your LLC stuff. Like, you don't always have to do that depending on your business structure. But all this is the kind of stuff that we're going to be covering, because visionaries we're left out. We're taught how to be everything but a visionary. And I'll give you guys the courses that I'm going to teach in this particular session. And again, it is $20 today. But what I'm doing, my focus is to prepare the visionary at every level. So the first course is called How to Go from Vision to Instruction. Vision to instruction. Most people can't give instructions and build anything because their vision is unclear and uncertain. Like, simple, it's unclear and uncertain. And I'm telling you guys, what I'm doing, I'm trying to prepare everybody to go to the next level and to make their life count. The second course is how to reroute a stuck, slow, or stagnant vision. Because one thing about people is that once we kind of get a little discouraged, it's so much easier to stop. It's so much easier to give up. It's so easy to. But what happens at that moment is you realize you have to reroute and you have to find your way out of that. I told you guys at the end of last year, I had to sit down and I canceled out and cut out 75% of my business services. I cut out 75% of the opportunities for me to make money because I realized I got a whole lot of stuff that doesn't match my vision. That doesn't match what I'm supposed to be working at or working towards. And I have all these things because at some point I got desperate. So a normal business owner probably won't tell you that. I started to use every skill I had because at some point I got desperate. Because I wanted my business to grow. I wanted to see a whole bunch of success. And when I started to see that, I was wondering why, man, I'm tired. Man, I'm frustrated. Man, I've lost my passion for this because I'm doing a whole lot of stuff that means nothing to my heart. It means it's great to my pockets, but it does nothing for my heart. It does nothing for my passions, and it does nothing for what matters the most to me. And when I stepped back at the end of last year, I realized that I was stagnant because I was doing the wrong things. I was doing the things that were not purpose driven for me. The third course, How to Fund Your Vision. I'm telling y'all, the information that I'm going to be giving, as well as the guest speaker that I have for this particular session, will blow your mind. I am preparing my stuff to go back before some boards to secure additional funding because I want a building and I want to hire people. And we all come into work and all that good stuff. That's my goal. And I realize it is extremely attainable. And I don't have to use my money to fund my vision and my dream if I do it right. I'm telling you guys, there are minority business on there, minority business grants. There are black women entrepreneurial grants. I'm telling you, if you have a vision that you can put down on paper and create quality structure and edit and content for that, you're able to secure a whole lot more money than what you think. I know a lady that started off, she wanted to be a chef, and she was a chef, and she realized that she enjoyed cooking because she enjoyed giving the experience and for people to leave there feeling gratified, not just filled with food, but filled with love, because she said that she cooks with love. She went from chef to soup kitchen owner. And now she's getting paid to feed the homeless by her city and by her state through a grant, when it all started off with her just saying, I enjoy cooking. You see that? And the last thing is picking the best team. A lot of business owners are failing. A lot of visionaries are failing. And I mean this from business to church to not-for-profits to basketball teams, you can think of it. A lot of visionaries are failing and failing miserably because of the individuals that they have around them. I'm gonna tell you guys this. I've never been in, yeah, I can say this, and no disrespect to my friends that may watch this, I've never been in business with one of my friends, because I realize that my friends, as supportive as they are, there's nothing that I post that they won't repost or share, but they have not been a part of my team. You know why? Because I had enough sense to say who is competent and called to this like I am. The people that are on my teams now, we have gotten extremely close over the years, but we didn't start off as super tight friends, because that's not what I was looking for. A lot of people naturally put their friends on high level positions or important positions when they're building something because they can trust them. I appreciate the trust, but competency and who's called to help me do this is more important than who I can trust. I can build trust with you, but I need you to have the same feeling, the same drive, and some competency for me to be able to effectively build. So all those 4 topics: how to fund your vision, how to pick the right team, how to reroute, and if your vision is stuck, I get it. And also lastly, the most important session, which is the first one, how to go from blueprint to instruction, will be a part of my event next week for visionaries only. If you do not know, it is an online event. Today I'm making it $20 because I realized, it's top of the year. When I talked to you guys about knowing the season, discerning the seasons and the times, I realized that it's the beginning of the year, people started off on fire. It's mid-February, people have given up. So you know what, right now, they're not willing to make large investments into them. And because I told you guys, I know who I'm called to, and I know when you create a solution, you'll always be able to make money off of it going forward. I can do things like have a $20 course where I'm giving $700 worth of information and content and don't care nothing about it. I'm like, you know what? Because I know when I equip you guys to do this, what you all do is say, you know what? I took this dude's course. I only paid $20, man. This helped me get all my stuff together. You should work with him. You should contact him. You should bring him to speak at your church. You should bring him to speak at your conference. You should have a strategy session with them because it helped me to that degree. I'm telling you, sometimes when it comes to making money online, it is okay to go down in price. I know people won't tell you that. They won't always agree with that notion, but it is okay to cut your prices when you're building, because you know what? It generates traffic. It starts the conversation. It creates buzz. There are people who come to me, who will still come to me because they're saying, you know what? I remember they say you do the $400 websites. Now I've done this 2 years in a row, and I'm like, oh great. How did you know about that? Before I ran it in February of this year, people were asking me about it in December of last year because somebody told them about it in November of last year. But the special's in February. So that means at some point in time, somebody brought me and my business up in conversation, which you know what they did, which led the door for somebody to reach out to me to start a conversation. That conversation turned into an invoice, and now I've made money online. Tell you guys, you can do it. Finding your niche. I think I talked about that. Finding your niche, letting people see you in action, letting them see some results, good results, consistent results, and lastly, choosing to commit to it and work it all the way. So listen, if you've been on here, I appreciate you for jumping on. I'll be back tomorrow. I think I'll go over to Instagram and talk a little junk too. But most importantly, guys, if you are interested, I have a course next Monday and Tuesday called For Visionaries Only. I promise you, this $20 will be the best $20 you ever spend, because I realize I'm called to help visionaries. I'm called to help people from near and far get unstuck, because I don't want you to quit because you got lost. I don't want you to quit because you couldn't figure your way out of it, because sometimes you're not the one that's going to help you get out of it. I can do a whole nother broadcast on the importance of a coach or a mentor or somebody that can see your blind spots and give you direction. Like that's legitimately it. That's a whole different ballgame, because people think that in sports is the only place or space where a coach is appropriate, and that is so not true. Now, a coach can be in the form of a counselor, a pastor, a teacher. If this is what I get, if we get for free, we're gonna get. You actually are. Yeah, like a coach can come in so many different forms, but people have to be okay with realizing that you need help. I talk to business owners all day who are failing because they were afraid to acknowledge the fact they needed help. You don't know everything about it. You're not supposed to. You don't know everything about what it is that is out there possible. Like you don't know. But guess what? You don't have to. So all you have to do is partner with somebody that knows a little bit more than you. And guess what that does? It takes you another step up. So again, thank you guys for being a part or just kind of stopping on here. I know I don't really get on here a lot. I'm going to start to get on here a little bit more, but I realize that a lot of people don't know the secret to making a little bit more money online, and it's doable. It's extremely doable. So what I'll do is I'm gonna put the website right there for you guys to sign up for the Visionaries course. I'm gonna drop. You don't know everything. Hey, that's it, Alexis. You don't know everything, but there's ways for you to make money online. And I just gave you those 4 tools. So again, as I said, if you guys don't know, I do have my first course of 2020 for the Vision Institute called For Visionaries Only. And I'm breaking down 4 different topics: how to fund your vision without your own money, actually how to pick the right team, how to reroute, redirect, and regrow a stagnant or stuck vision, and most importantly, how to create a blueprint that leads to instruction so that you know, not everybody else, you know what it is that you're building and what you're doing. So thank you so much for dropping on in. I'll see you guys again tomorrow night. I look forward to it. Listen, take advantage of the $20, the best $20 you'll spend all year long. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you all soon. I'm going to drop the link in the replay.